Fellow explorers, I've got some positive news for you about the reopening of Las Vegas, and that is the governor of Nevada last week held a press conference and announced the easing of restrictions in 3 phases. And so in this video, I'm going to go over those 3 phases with you, tell you what's changing, what's reopening, and whether it'll make a difference or not, and what people are doing in response to this reopening. By the way, if this is your first time here, I'm Chris, this is Yellow Productions. I do travel guides that are fun, informative, entertaining. This video is part of my series on Las Vegas. If you want to see more videos about Las Vegas, you'll find links in the description below. But let's go ahead and get right into these reopening phases. The first phase starts today, February 15th, and the first thing that's changing that you'll notice as a tourist is that dining restrictions are going up in the capacity limits. Currently, it's been 25% restaurant capacity for dine-in restaurants. Now they're moving that up to 35% of a restaurant's capacity can be seated in that restaurant. They still have to adhere to social distancing, 6 feet per table, that sort of stuff. But now, in addition to being able to just seat 4 people per table, restaurants can now seat 6 people per table, and the restriction for requiring advanced reservations has gone away. I will point out that 35% capacity is not that much different than 25%. So if you are going to Las Vegas, I would highly encourage you to make reservations ahead of time because these restaurants are still significantly limited in their capacity. Now, another really positive trend is that the public event limit is moving up to 100 people per event. It's been 50. So this is the limit on conventions, meetings, and also shows, which is what I'm sure most of you care about. Now, with the greater capacity limit for shows, we see a couple of shows returning. The Luxor Hotel has already announced that 2 shows are going to be returning there on February 19th. The topless review known as Fantasy and the redheaded comedian known as Carrot Top are both going to be restarting their shows with the 100-person limit. Phase 2 of the easing of restrictions starts on March 15th. In this phase, restaurant capacity moves up from 35% to 50%, so significantly more diners can dine in at 50%. The social distancing of 6 feet and 6 people per table still remains. Public gatherings and shows, those are going to move up from that 100-person limit to 250 people. With the 250-person limit on shows, we can expect to see a number of shows starting to return because there were a number of shows when the limit was 250 before this current big restriction. What can you expect to see come back? Well, at MGM Grand, you should definitely expect Jabberwockies and David Copperfield. David Copperfield was playing to 250-person audiences last year. Excalibur is expected to return the Tournament of Kings and the Australian Bee Gees. Caesar's Palace is expected to bring back Absinthe, and Planet Hollywood is expected to welcome back Crazy Girls. Now, many shows in small venues are still going to remain closed because there's still a regulation of this 25-foot moat between stage performers and the audience. There has to be 25 feet between the people performing and the people watching. So small theaters and small venues often don't even have 25 feet that they can spare between the performers and the audience. And so until that goes away, lots of the small shows are still going to remain closed. Now, I should also point out that adult entertainment, nightclubs, day clubs, and brothels are still going to remain closed in this phase of the reopening. Now, one new attraction that's going to be opening in March in Las Vegas is the Virgin Hotel and Casino. Related to this announcement, they've targeted their opening to be March 25th when phase 2 of the easing of these restrictions goes into place. The Virgin Hotel is at the site of the former Hard Rock Hotel. This is the first Native American operated casino floor in Las Vegas, sure to be a really interesting property. And finally, phase 3 of the easing of restrictions goes into effect on May 1st. What happens on May 1st? Well, this is when the state is actually planning to not be in the business of making restrictions on the state any further. The governor of Nevada has said his plan on May 1st is to relinquish restrictions down to the local level, which is essentially down to the counties. What does that mean the restrictions will be on May 1st? It's really hard to say because it's hard to say what the counties plan to do. You know, I think as we found with most of these phased openings is take these dates with a grain of salt. And the last thing to know about Las Vegas's reopening is I've got more videos. You can click right here for my playlist of all my Las Vegas travel guides, including the cheapest eats on the Las Vegas Strip, the best luxury hotels, and the worst cheap hotels. As usual, I won't say goodbye because I'll see you in this video. Wait, are you still here? You should be in that playlist.